Assalamualaikum. My name is Nik Huda binti Hussein and my metric number is 1251347. Today I will be presenting my case review on Indira Gandhi anak perempuan MUTHO versus Pengarah Jabatan Agama Islam Perak and others. To begin with, this case is considered one of the significant constitutional cases in Malaysia because it deals with the issue of unilateral religious conversion of children to Islam. In this case, the Federal Court interpreted Article 12, Clause 4 and reaffirmed the jurisdiction of civil courts under Article 121, Clause 1 of the Federal Constitution. The objectives of this presentation are: first, to explain the key facts and legal issues in this case. Second, to highlight the Federal Court's interpretation of Article 12, Clause 4 and Article 121, Clause 1. Moving on to the facts of the case. The case started when Pathmanathan converted to Islam and changed his name to Muhammad Ridwan Abdullah. Without the knowledge or consent of his wife, Indira Gandhi, he converted their 3 children to Islam, and conversion certificates were issued. As a result, Indira Gandhi filed for custody of the children in the civil court. The High Court ruled in her favor and cancelled the children's conversion certificates because the conversion process was found to be legally defective. However, the Court of Appeal later overturned this decision and held that issues relating to religious conversion fell under the jurisdiction of the Sharia Court. Indira Gandhi then appealed to the Federal Court, which later ruled that the unilateral conversion was invalid. Next, I will explain the main issue in this case. The legal issue was whether the civil court had jurisdiction to review matters relating to unilateral conversion of minors to Islam, or whether such matters belong exclusively to the Sharia court. Now moving to the applicable law. The first provision in Article 12, Clause 4 of the Federal Constitution, which provides that the religion of a person under 18 years old shall be determined by his or her parent or guardian. The second provision is Article 121, Clause 1, which concerns the jurisdiction of the court. For the discussion section, firstly, the court examined whether one parent alone could decide on child's religious conversion. The Federal Court held that when both parents are alive, consent from both parents is required before converting a child's religion. Secondly, the court considered whether civil courts have authority to hear matters involving religious conversion. The court decided that civil courts continue to have jurisdiction to review administrative actions involving religious authorities in order to protect constitutional rights. Next is the judgment of the case. The Federal Court allowed Indira Gandhi's appeal and overturned the decision made by the Court of Appeal. The court reached this decision after examining both constitutional principles and the legal process surrounding the children's conversion. Firstly, the court declared that the conversion certificates issued for the 3 children were null and void. The court found that the conversion process did not comply with the legal requirements because the children's mother, Indira Gandhi, was not informed and did not give her consent. Secondly, the court interpreted Article 12, Clause 4 of Federal Constitution, which states that the religion of a person under the age of 18 shall be decided by his or her parent or guardian. The federal court clarified that the term parent should be interpreted to mean both parents when both are alive. Therefore, one parent cannot make a unilateral decision regarding a child's religious conversion. Thirdly, the court addressed the issue of jurisdiction. Although religious matters are generally associated with the Sharia court, the federal court held that civil courts still retain the authority to review administrative actions carried out by Islamic authorities when constitutional rights are involved. This means that civil courts are not prevented from intervening simply because the religious element exists in the dispute. Finally, the judgment reaffirmed the principle of constitutional supremacy, meaning that all actions taken by authorities must comply with the federal constitution. The decision strengthened the protection of parental rights and clarified the constitutional limits between civil court and Sharia court jurisdiction. Overall, this judgment became an important legal precedent in Malaysia because it provided clearer guidance on child conversion cases and reinforced the role of constitution in protecting individual rights. In conclusion, this case established that a child's religion conversion requires consent from both parents when both are still alive. Additionally, the federal court confirmed that civil courts have the authority to hear cases involving religious conversion in order to safeguard constitutional rights. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.